to discuss the OKR methodology and how to use it in order to set the goals for the teams. And Natalia, please introduce yourself first.
Yeah, I'm really glad to see all of you in this meetup. It's really first meetup here, and we hope that we will provide a lot of very interesting meetups. We are now just planning next meetup about bunny world and all of these things, because we have a lot of experience, more than 5-year experience in OKR. And we are ready to share this experience with you guys, and we will be happy to meet online or maybe in person if you're in the Netherlands or whenever in Europe. If we can start for today, the goal of today's webinar is just give you some test drive. What is the OKR and how to set up OKRs? Of course, this meetup will be about 2 hours, but it's too short time. So it's just to give you some taste of OKR. And of course, in real life, the same planning session lasts about 4 hours or more. Yeah. Katya, maybe, yeah. And about me, I am located now near Amsterdam, yeah. But of course, I can travel around the Europe. And Katya, about you?
Okay, I should have changed the name. Ekaterina is back from Russian, and it's easier to say Catherine probably. And I'm located in Riga, Latvia at the moment. And I work together with Natalia, and we're implementing OKRs in different companies and teams. And it's a great opportunity today to share some of it with you, and maybe, yeah, to give you a little bit an impression of what we do and what the OKRs are. Or if you're already experienced in OKRs, we'll be happy to get your ideas and to share it with the world as well. And to start with, would like to get acquainted a little bit, and I hope all of you have the access to the Miro board. If you are there, there is a frame called Get to Know Each Other, and if you can just take a few minutes and fill in a page for yourself, putting in your name, telling us who you are if you're willing to do it, and change the color of the sticker. And I'm seeing that Marion is already doing it. If you know nothing about OKRs, please color your sticker or your badge in red. You have heard something, but not too much, make it yellow. If you already use OKRs and you're experienced in this methodology, please use green. And also, if you're here today just to listen and you're not willing to talk or share or switch your video on, then just let us know and color your beige and gray. And our meetup today is scheduled for approximately 2 hours in total, but it depends on how much you would like to talk and how fast we will move. So we will begin with a little bit of theory, and please, I see that there are some experienced guys here. Again, I'm sorry if I get your names wrong. And is it Natasha or Natasia? I'm not sure. I see that your beige is green, so please welcome to join us and in the discussion or explanations if you have anything you would like to add. OKR, as I guess you all know, is objectives and key results in a long way. And it's the methodology or system of implementing your execution, the strategy of your company or your team. It's not just the method of setting goals. It's the methodology that allows teams and companies to achieve ambitious, clear, and aspirational goals. On this slide or on this frame, we have gathered all the key components of the system and the key principles that are very important for the OKR system. So as I have already said, the goals have to be clear and aspirational, ambitious for the team to know that you're going somewhere high. And the major principles are being agile. And okay, we know what agile is, but you can change it for more common word, flexible. So it's very important for the team to be able to adjust on the way, to move fast, because our world is changing. And today we're living not even in the VUCA world, but in the bunny world, where every day we have so many changes on the outside and the inside, that it's very important to and be able to change fast, to do it in small iterations. OKRs is about focusing on changes, on change or on challenges, not just on the everyday routine work. It's important, and the focus here is probably the main word, because we really have to adjust our focus now on some very important things that we aim at in order to get to our goals. OKRs are aimed at connecting people and teams, and a very important thing is alignment. You see this triangle, it shows that the goals are aligned on all levels, from top to bottom, between company level, team level, and individuals, but also teams between themselves should align their goals in order to be able to move together to the ultimate goals or to the strategic goals set for the whole team or company. In the middle of the slide is the heart of the system, and it's the implementation system. So it's not enough to set the goals. In order to be flexible, in order to be able to change, you need to follow some OKR routine, which includes 4 types of meetings. And it's the big planning and retrospective sessions at the beginning and at the end of the quarter or the period that the company or team chooses for itself for setting the OKRs. It may be a quarter, a month. It depends on each particular company. And also inside this period, it's very important to hold the progress meetings or Monday meetings, which are usually done on Monday, but some companies do on other days, where you monitor the progress towards your OKRs. And this is when you see that you need to adjust your way, adjust your tasks, adjust something in the way you're moving towards your goals. And there are Fridays, which are very important for celebrating the success and in order to keep the motivation up, in order to feel the team spirit and to keep the team in good shape. These meetings are also important and not to be missed. So this is a very short explanation of what the system is. And of course, it's very important to know how to set the right goals. And the goals here are the objectives and the key results. The 2 main components of the system. Objective is the goal you're trying to achieve. So it's the picture of the state or the result that you want to get to. It may be very different, and it may be described in different words. It's not exactly about numbers, but it's more about aspiration. And the key results is something that shows you that you have reached this goal. It's a metric that measures your progress towards achieving your objective. So in order to know exactly that you have achieved what you wanted, you know how to measure it. And I guess I'm not going to read from the screen. It's very clear what's written here. And maybe somebody who is already using the OKRs would like to add something. Is that the right description from your point of view? How do you feel, guys? Or you can just put some reactions in Zoom. That would also be helpful. Okay, and this is another slide about objectives and key results. So objectives is what I want to achieve. Where do I want to go? I want to climb the mountain 5,000 meters high, or I want to be slim or beautiful. Thank you, Water, for saying I'm not using it yet, but you're curious. That's great. I hope we'll get you motivated to start using it.
Today you will start to use it in some case. Yeah, just.
Okay, at least you will try, sure.
Yeah, you will try.
So the objective should be inspirational. It should be qualitative. So describing the state you want to achieve, or some very aspirational motto. If you were talking about the company, to be number one, to be top, to be the biggest, the largest. And it should be brief and easy to remember, so that if you tell your kid at home what you're moving towards, he will understand what you're talking about and will probably remember it as well. But then how do we know that we're getting there? Here is the point where the key results come in, and it's very important to know how to set them correctly. They have to be measurable. They have to be quantitative and the best, the best version. They have to be progress-based. It means that you have to be able to measure how you move towards them, not just see the beginning and the end of the period and see, wow, I'm not getting anywhere, but to be able to really measure them on a regular basis, so that if there is no progress, you know that there is something wrong and we have somehow to adjust the way. We can say that they have to be smart. I'm sure that many of you have used or heard or read or known about this SMART goals, and this is what the key result is. It should be really smart: set in time, achievable, understandable, measurable. What is more important is that the key results should describe results and not tasks. We'll talk about it a little bit later in more detail when we will try ourselves to set some objectives and key results. But it's also important. If you, I don't know, make 500 phone calls and you don't get even one client, then what's the point of making those phone calls? You're not getting the result. You're fulfilling the task. That's a small example. And this is probably the same in some other words. And I'm sure you have already read it because you have the access to Miro. And okay, what we're going to do today, this is a very short portion of theory. And today we're going to run through one of the planning sessions. And where is it placed? So if we have a strategic goal, you see it on the screen in red, and you have, for example, chosen for your team or company to work on the quarter-based system. In the beginning of each period, you need to go through the planning session. Here it is. And we're together today, pretending that we are in the beginning, for example, of Q4. It means that at the end of the Q3, we have already gone through the retrospective and we know what we've done in the past. We know what our strategic goal is. And we have to answer a very simple question. Where should we focus our efforts in this period in order to successfully reach our strategic goals, or to make a maximum move towards our strategic goals? Here we are today trying to do it for some company we'll discuss later. And our planning sessions has 3 steps. The first one is the brainstorming session, where you really need to open up your creativity and to get all the ideas for all goals for the chosen period without trying to verbalize them correctly. Right? When you're brainstorming, it's important to be open, not to criticize yourself or the others, and just to get all the ideas for the period. On the second step, we're going to sort those goals or your ideas and choose only those that are aimed at change. Change, challenge, we'll discuss it a little bit later in detail. And run is something for the routine, which is also important for the team or the company, right? You're always working on all levels, but we will work with what you're choosing for the change. And when you have sorted those ideas, you have chosen the most valuable ones or the most important ones for the period, and only after that we are moving to really formulating the objectives and key results. So that's what we're going through today. And again, as Natalia have already said, today we're doing a very short test drive. Usually this session lasts around 4 hours for teams who are more or less experienced. And today we're just making a little test. Here is a more realistic timing for the session, where it takes a few hours for the team to get, and going through the session together, the teams are really aligning and are really getting into sharing all those goals between teams, between the managers, the top manager, the CEOs, and the individuals. And this is one of the side effects of the OKRs. It really drives up the team spirit in a very good way. Okay, here you can also find one of the examples of the scenarios for the retro and for the planning workshop. And as you have the access to
Real session, we share our real experience just provided.
yes, as you all have the
Okay.
access to this board,
Yeah.
you will be able to look through it later if you're interested. So this is a very short introduction to the theory of the OKRs. Do you have any questions? Or maybe you would like to add something? Or maybe Natalia, you would like to add something?
Yeah, I want to ask, yeah, our dear participants, if there's a clear, brief introduction, or maybe for those who feel your badge in green, maybe you want to add something from your experience. Is it the same that model that we describe in one page, or maybe you have some additional questions? Yeah.
So can I
Please.
add something? I had experience with OKRs in marketing department, and this is a very good brief, but I think it is not showing the complexity of OKRs, because when we were translating the strategy goals for each marketing department goals, then we were like, what is happening? What should we do? How can we connect the goal of each team or their expertise to that strategy goal? And that's became very complex. So I think it is a very good brief, but I had some problems and difficulties to connect those parts.
Thank you for your addition, because yeah, of course, OKRs looks very simple at the first glance, and a lot of people who just read a book of John Doerr, oh, it's so simple. But when you just try to do this, and the purpose of our test drive is to give you opportunity to just do it, not just listen the theory, but do it by your hands. Okay, let's go. So if anybody else wants to add something or ask, or we can go to our practicum, to our case. Walter.
I got
Please.
a small question. Is it normally, because it says agility-wise iteration, does it imply it's for every quarter, or can also be done for a month or half a year?
Yeah, it really depends of the level of volatility of your working environment. So if you work in some stable environment and all is understandable, for example, some of our companies connected with the for example, clothing companies, yeah, they have this half-year periods, and they provide a planning session or retrospective and planning sessions, one for half year.
Mhm.
But for companies who live now in bunny world, VUCA world, they set goals for months and provide retrospective and planning session every month. Yeah, it really depends. Even you can change your period. For example, now you set up your goals for quarter, but maybe tomorrow something changed and you have to move more quickly, more agile, and you can shorten your period.
Yeah, because I'm wondering the one. So I'm mentioning already agile. I'm a Scrum Master at the company Intergamma from
Yeah.
the product of Karwei and Gamma. Anyway, I'm also helping out the teams with sprint planning. And I'm wondering to what extent this is also kind of an idea or concept you can use in the normal sprint planning, or it's really based on quarter because you're gonna converge first and then diverge into some sub goals, etc. So is this really like a longer term thing, or?
Yeah. So yeah, OKR is really great connected with the Scrum sprints. So you have your prioritized main goals for quarter, for example, and every sprint you just check, okay, are we moving forward towards this OKRs or not? So OKR is some compass for you, some
Okay.
yeah. So it's really great connected.
Thanks.
Okay, and the thing that Kate mentioned, but we maybe we didn't make the big accent for this, but thank you very much, Marianne, that you did this. That in OKRs is very important to align vertically and horizontally OKRs of departments with OKR the company. So in our case today, to make more simple your work, we will give you the already formulated OKRs, company level OKRs. So you will be the employees of some company, and you already have the company OKRs. And what we do now in this workshop, you will set up your department OKRs, just to make our workshop more simple. Okay, if someone haven't filled your badge yet, I kindly ask you to do this here because we want to organize a working team. And now, yeah, we will just jump to the case, and then we will start working as a teams.
Okay, and I will show just the beginning, and maybe Natalia, you catch up. And really, Marianne, thank you. The more teams are involved in the process, of course, the more complicated it is, especially in the beginning, when you have to set the OKRs just for one level, it's one thing. And when you move even to the second level, of course, it's getting more complicated. And if you have many teams, especially in the beginning, it's difficult. But from our experience, what we see is that after a company or any organization lives through the first period or two first periods, which are trials really, then it's getting better, because in order to really get used to the system and get to use it in a comfortable way, you really have to do it. It's one thing to read about it or listen about it, but then when you get to monitoring the progress, especially in the first time, you really feel that, wow, I know nothing, it doesn't work, I can't measure, I can't calculate. But after a few trial periods, it's getting easier and easier, and those meetings are getting shorter, and logically you start feeling it better. And today we're just going to show you a small example, and it's a business case called Bring the Factory Out of the Crisis. Because right now in many countries and many companies, there really is a crisis. So it's one of the real cases we have seen. And here on the board, you can read the case description. And it's about a real factory which produces windows and doors from plastic and aluminum. And they have been working in the market for quite some time. A very experienced player with a good market reputation, with a certain existing customer cycle. But the competition in the market is high. And with the situation right now, with the logistics crisis all over the world, with the prices going high, they face a real problem. They have small competitors who are winning over them in the market due to low prices for lower quality. And they are facing a logistics crisis. So with the raw materials, they are not getting them in time. So they're ruining their production cycle, they're breaking the delivery time to the customers, and it's a problem. So the customer demands declined. Many regular customers are not placing any orders. And it's important for the company to stabilize the financial situation, to solve the problems with the timing of production and delivery to the customers, and of course, to keep the customers. That's a very short description. And this is the real example of the company level OKRs for the quarter with the two objectives, very easy and clearly understandable, work with profit. And here are some key results with the numbers. And the second objective is win all the customers, or all the customers we can. And there are 4 key results here. So you will have some time now to read what is on the Miro board. And our task for today is to set the second level key results for the departments.
This meeting is being recorded.
And here is what we're going. I can hear my.
Yeah, I also hear some echo.
Somebody.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, now it's good.
Okay. So this is what we're going to do today, very shortly. See, the timing is different because we are in a short timing mode. So we'll go into the brainstorming session for 20 minutes. Then we will sort the run and change and choose the crucial goals. And then we'll try to formulate some objectives and key results, also using some examples for your aspiration. Natalia, how many departments are we going to set? Because we're so many.
Yeah, according to pages, maybe 2 departments, and maybe we can ask you, Kate, can you move on top for our pages? Maybe some pages appear. Oh no, I don't see any new pages. So we propose to combine people who are experienced in OKR with people who are not experienced at OKR. If you don't mind, we propose to make these 2 groups. A group 1 with Marian, Wouter, and Coffee, and second group with Natasha, Havik, yeah, and maybe Harin, maybe you can just hear, just participate in a silent mode. If you want to organize group in some different way, don't hesitate to say it now loudly. And also in a company, we have 5 departments, and maybe now you can choose which department you want to, for which department you want to set up OKRs. And also for people who didn't yet, who haven't filled your badge, you can now, maybe turn on your microphone and say in voice if you want to participate, or just
or you can
just
write
be
in
an observer.
the Zoom chat if you would like to participate and go to the group. And basically, here is what you will have to do on the step 1. We don't have such big groups of people, so you can just probably skip choosing the facilitator point. And on the step 1, you have to gather the ideas for the next period, answering the question, what is important for this department to focus on in the next period to achieve the company level OKRs. And important thing is to use one sticker for one idea so that afterwards you can sort them easily and without having to write the ideas for the second time. This will be the task for the next 10 minutes. And this will be the step 1. If during this process you see that some ideas are close in meaning or in some words, you can during this step 1 make groups and group your ideas and maybe name them with a common name if you see that it's appropriate. If no, it's okay, you can just leave the ideas as they are. The main thing is to gather as many as it's possible. Okay, and
Yeah,
Natalia,
so can I ask our participants if it's okay for you to be in those groups and to work with these departments, or you want to change something, it's okay, and we can do it with you. Yeah, we can change anything.
and
It's
maybe
just move.
stop demonstrating the screen for a moment, and Natalia, if you want to show
Oh, yeah, I can. Yeah, I can share the
how you
screen.
form the groups, then
Mhm.
it will be probably easier for the guys to feel.
Yeah.
So we'll have two departments, the sales and the supply, and if it's okay for you to be in those.
Or maybe we can do this manufacturing or HR, so you can choose.
Marion,
You
is it
can choose.
you to be in sales as you're in marketing? I guess it's somewhat close.
Also, I will show you. So here is the frames for each department. So if you in group think, okay, now we're supplied, but we want to move to, for example, manufacturer department. Okay, you can do this and just just change your frame. No, it's okay. And now this is hidden parts. It's hidden steps just to make it more simple. But below, you see for each department, we have some ideas for inspiration. There are some, it's from our real workshops and from some real people, some ideas. Some of them are interesting and really strong. Some of them are weak, and some of them are objective. Some of them are key results, and some of them are just tasks. But you can, to be more familiar maybe with the department activity, you can use also this inspiration box. Okay. What do you think about all of this? If somebody wants to jump into some of this group or change your group, yeah, Walter, I see your hand. Okay, great. Okay, now we will open your breakout rooms for 20 minutes. So we will set up a timer. And for this 20 minutes, the instruction is here. Yeah, company level OKRs is here. And your task is to write down all ideas. Yeah, and it doesn't matter, is it OKR or is it task? All ideas, what do you think it's important for your department to reach company level OKRs for this quarter? If people who haven't filled your badge want to participate in some of groups, you can choose this group. Okay, now I open rooms.
Which one are we doing? Are we sales or are we?
Yeah, you are sales department.
The sales.
Yeah,
Okay.
you are sales department. And just think, okay, if you are sales department to help company to reach company goal, yeah, what you need to achieve, what is important for you, you can just explore the case, explore the OKRs of company, and write down all ideas in Miro board.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I
so
have
we-
a question. There are two things you wrote here. Work with profit, win all the customers. We
Mhm.
have to come up with some ideas related to these topics.
So these two topics, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Related to the company
Yes.
objectives. Yeah. So these
It's-
two are the company objectives, and we need to come up with
Yeah.
ideas.
Of course, it's two OKRs. Your department maybe maybe you can influence only on one objective, maybe on both objectives. Maybe you have some different, also the third objective for your department, some unique objective. It's also could be. Okay.
So the objectives are already there. We just have to figure out some practical activities.
Oh, it's objectives of
No.
company level.
So we are not there yet.
Oh yeah,
I think
true.
Now we're
It's
just
company
giving
level
ideas. Then later
Okay.
on we do the OKR. So now
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
ideas based on the company objectives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but but you in charge of the sales.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what is
we
your
understand.
responsibility?
Yeah, we understand.
Okay. I'm zone to other.
Also, the customer complaints aren't really related to supply department, I assume. Maybe the complete cycle of order execution. So how can then the supply chain be most effective in an OKR?
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe going towards your lean management, you could, for example, say implement lean execution for, lean order execution within the supply department. But what does that
Yeah.
actually mean? That's a different story.
I think if one of the big thing is also like if I was in supply chain, I'm also thinking of
Hey,
I think I have
oh,
a question
it was.
when everybody comes, because I'm still a bit confused about so what is run and what's change in an organization.
Ah, it's great question. What is run and what is change? What do you think? And yeah, it's question for everyone. What is the criteria to divide? Is it is run or it is change? What is the main criteria?
I'm using if it has to do with something we've never done before, then it's change. But if it's the usual normal stuff that we do, then you keep it as run. But something like, let's say, customer
This meeting is being
yeah,
recorded.
or customer journey mapping, is it a run or a change? Because a bit of it you already do with receiving customer feedback, but also a bit of it you're getting some new information that you use for some change. So where do you place that?
Plans or of the team of the situation. Maybe in this quarter it will be change for you, and next quarter it become a run.
Okay. So it also moves. Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
and
and
one of the purpose of OKRs to move your change to the run.
Okay. Cool.
It's why your OKRs can change every quarter, because the previous OKRs become run, and it's not no, it's you don't need to move to keep in OKRs because you already know how to do it.
Okay.
Kate, you want to add something?
yes, I wanted just to say that sometimes the objective seems to be like run, but when you set the metrics, and it depends on the metrics if it becomes run, if it stays run, or if it becomes change. If you want to grow by 5%, probably it's run if you are growing for 5% every year. But then if you aim at 100% growth with selling the same products, for example, then it becomes a real change. So in every situation, every company really decides what at the moment is change or if it's already run. And thank you for doing the great job. We have been watching you on Miro and seeing how you move. That's really great. So as you voted, now we're ready to move to the next step. And just very small piece of theory again to remind you, how do we really set the OKRs and objective? You will now have a chance to really formulate the objective for at least one of the goals you have chosen. So it has to be inspirational, qualitative, and brief, and answering the question, what do I want to achieve? It's really great if it sounds like a motto, or when on one hand it's clear where you want to get, the picture is in your head clear and beautiful, but at the other side, it's easy to remember, and it's really brings you inspiration. But then you have to add the key results, and they are measurable, quantitative, progress-based, and they describe results and not tasks, so that you have a clear understanding. If we achieve these figures and these numbers, then we know that we have reached our objective for this quarter. And
yeah, and as you see at the left, this picture is not just a picture, because your objective is the target you want to reach. And key results, it's like coordinates that you can measure if you are there or not. So if you have a two-dimensional, you have two coordinates. In our 3D world, you have three coordinates. And in business, you can have any kind of coordinates, but we ask to choose no more than 5, no more than 5-dimensional.
And even 5, it's a big number. Normally, it's really better to set 3 key results or 2 key results in order to measure, because they have to be measured on a very regular basis, on a weekly basis, in fact. Otherwise, it's not a strong key result that you have set, and you need to find another one. We have an example for you here, as you probably see already, and it's an example created back many, many years ago for Google. And the objective was create the best browser. And see, there were different versions. How do you calculate that it's the best browser? By calculating clicks, somehow measuring the engagement. And the version chosen was the number of users. So this is a very good example of the OKR, which can stay the same from year to year, but you change the number. And if you start from 20 million, and then maybe now, I don't know how many users Google has, can't even make a guess, because it's really the top browser in the world. And as you're going to do the job now in a very short period of time, we have created for you this OKR Quality Checklist for the objectives and for the key results. And for each one of you, it's very easy to look and to check if the objective and key result really answers all those quality checks or not. And I'm sure you can read them, so I'm not going to do it again. But when you're working with the real ones in the real world, it's really great for yourself to check. Because sometimes it seems to you that the objective is clear and easily remembered, but on the other hand, you forget that it really has to be emotionally motivating. Otherwise, it doesn't help people to motivate themselves to move towards those goals. And we have discussed already a lot about change and run. So it's another thing you check once again when you formulate the objective. Sometimes when people vote and then they realize, wow, no, it's not the change, and maybe we should choose something else. And the checklist for the key results is also very clear. And what we're going to do now, a little bit down again on the Miro board, you will see step number 3, and the task will be to choose at least one of the goals you have chosen on the previous step here, and try to formulate the objective and the key result for this goal using the checklist and using this template we have here. So here you will put your objective and a set of key results from 1 to 5 as you choose. And if you find something that is really just a task, but it's important from your point of view to focus on it as well, you can right away put it down here on the task spot. And down there, as you have already found, we had some ideas for your inspiration. But please note and keep in mind that we have put here not just the good examples, but also the weak examples of objectives, and there are also tasks here. So be careful in choosing what you really feel is the key result or the objective for your chosen goal. And for this task, we have how many, Natalia? 20 minutes?
Maybe we can start with 15 minutes, and then
Yes.
we will check, visited your rooms, because we already have only 25 minutes before our workshop will close, and maybe you have other appointments after this workshop. So do you have any question before you will start to formulate your objective and key result? You have done a great job. Yeah, we're really proud of your OKRs. It looks so nice and yeah, so accurate. Great. Already all with us. Yeah, I think, yeah, we can start.
Okay, now we have a few minutes left, but we would like for you to share the results of your work because you really have done great. And first of all, I wanted to remind you that you were doing the department level OKRs, but they were supposed to be aligned with the company level OKRs for the same period. So here they are on the screen and looking at the objective. Now I will show what your departments have done in this period, what you have formulated. And I would like to ask you just to give a few comments on why was this objective and these key results important in order to reach the company level in the next quarter, why you have chosen those. And the first one is the sales department. You have done one OKR. And it's on the screen, and maybe somebody from the sales department would like to comment on what you have chosen for the next period and why, just in a few words.
So we have chosen attract B2B market because we wanted to increase sales, and we thought because, okay, we are selling Windows, maybe selling it to B2B market would be a great new idea. So this is our objective. And then the key results, of course, is having new clients, B2B clients, increase the volume we are selling to them, because if a client, for example, buying one, then the company is gonna, of course, buy more of our products. And at the end, because we wanted to have awareness over these new companies, we put the third key result in a like increase top of mind awareness by 5%.
Thank you very much. And I really want to applaud because you have done a great job with the measurable key results. And Natalia is putting a question, how can you calculate this? So this is important if you're doing it in the real world to ask before the first progress meeting or on the first program meeting, do we have the right instruments how we can calculate this, or what are we going to use, some program or some software, how we're going to get these numbers. But this looks really great, and thank you. And the second department.
Wow, supplements for the group.
Yes.
Yeah. And but by the way, if you couldn't calculate it by the numbers, you can estimate it by some expert estimation. Yeah, so it's also it's also great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now we have the supply department who has done 2 OKRs, which is really amazing. And can you please also give a few comments on what you have done?
Should I go? Okay, let me explain then a little bit. I think as a supply department, we wanted to start with implementing lean management in the company. Of course, we could not see from the description whether it was already existing or not. So we take it as a change. And the key results we set for ourselves was to reduce the waste to less than 1% of the material which has been produced. And also for the SLA of the deliveries, we wanted to have less than 5% of breaches, because I think the eventual target was 100% of the deliveries that we wanted to do in on time. But at least this quarter we start with less than 5%, and maybe next quarter we will hit the last 5%. So
Thank
that
you.
was sort of the idea there.
And you had another one.
Yeah, and of course another in order to one of the target was to improve our margins, and of course there was challenge for a lot of from local partners as well. So we thought, okay, why don't we also go looking for new suppliers and also see for local sourcing ourselves. And then the measurement was at least for the coming quarter was onboard at least 3 new suppliers. but then also the quality measures, which are about these 3 suppliers should also contribute into 10% cost reduction and should deliver us with 99% of SLAs that we set for them. So that was a little bit of our OKR forming.
Thank you very much. And I would also like to give
Great. Applause. Thank you.
this was
Great.
great.
Yeah.
And we only have a few minutes left. So Natalia and I, we both want to thank you for participation. And we would like to ask you to move down on the frame and to use those 2 last minutes to put on stickers your ideas of what was really valuable for you today, if anything there was in this workshop. And also, if you want to say thank you to one of your team members, please do it on the board, or you can leave your contacts if you want to do it for each other, also here on the gratitude board. And thank you so much for participating. It was really nice having you here today.
And we will give maybe 2 minutes in silence, and then if someone wants to share out loud also can do this. Yeah, thank you very much. And about gratitudes, that you created this workshop, because without your active participation, it would be nothing. So thank you very much for your activity, for your ideas. Yeah, that you maybe persuade to work in new team as you are working this team, and maybe even established some company in those company or sales department for this company. Thank you very much for this. And yeah, just keep in touch. We will announce new meetups connected with OKR, and not only on OKR, maybe around, yeah, about bunny world, about any agile approaches. So keep in touch and